Hey, Mental Health on the Mighty. My name is Chrissie Hodges, and here I am in August talking with you again for my monthly live chat. Thank you so much, Mental Health on the Mighty, for always having me on, being able to talk about things that are important to our community, which is what I'm going to talk about today. A little bit about me that's different than last. Well, first of all, I'm Chrissie. I'm a author of Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I'm a certified peer support specialist here in the state of Colorado. I do referral consultations and support around the world for people with OCD, and I am the executive director of OCD Gamechangers. Something interesting about me since last month, last time I went live, if someone could have just messaged me and told me your whole life is going to be different the next time you're on Mental Health on the Mighty, I probably would not have believed you, but it's true. I am in a different house. If you've been following my videos, you can see I have different background. I have different everything. Literally, we found out we were moving within a week and had no prior knowledge about that. And so, as we all know, change can be tough with mental health. You get in your routine, you get into things that are secure, and then when change happens, it feels like all hell can break loose. I'm kind of still waiting for it to break loose. It was a good thing, actually. We were in a house we were wanting to buy, and then it turns out we decided to keep looking when it went up for sale. So we found another place that's temporary, and we love it. So I don't know if y'all believe in like energy and how being in a space, how much the energy can impact you. I'm not going to talk about this the whole time, but I think it's interesting and just wanted to share. We were in this house and I loved it. It's in the area that we wanted to be in. It was surrounded by woods. There was nature and stuff, but there was something about the energy in the house that I never really liked, even though I liked the house. And for the last year, I spent a lot of time feeling unmotivated and at times really depressed, and at times just feeling there's no point. I just can't see anything happening that's going to be different than now. And it was almost like I was forcing myself to just be okay with that energy. It was really bizarre. And then I'm going to tell y'all, once we moved into this new space, nothing really about my life was too much different, but everything changed. And so I would wake up more energetic, have more energy, just it's a different feel. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to share with you. It's been a great change for me and for my husband. And sometimes, even though change can be scary, I'm a testament right here. It also can be really good even when you don't know that you need it. So with that said, I wanted to talk today. I typically like to talk about things I think are important to those of us that live with mental health diagnoses, symptoms. And I live with OCD, and OCD tends to really kick up when my routine is changed out or I have big changes like I just had. So I've been all over the place. I don't want to go into that, but what I did want to talk about is a new venture that this video isn't going to be like just to plug what I have, my new business, but I do want to say that this new business was born out of the topic I wanted to talk about today, which is the importance of community. During COVID, and I've done a couple of these videos in the last 4 or 5 months that are just really more like fireside chat-ish of let's talk about how we're feeling, let's talk about how this is impacting us. And I think for many of us, it almost seems like life just kind of went on, and then now we're getting pulled back in, but you don't know if you're getting pulled back in, and there's all kinds of information everywhere, and no one really knows how to feel. And the thing that has kept me really grounded through all of this is my community. And I felt for a few months into COVID, I felt so helpless. I'm not doing enough for my community. I'm not showing up for my community, because I was also struggling with COVID, and I was struggling with uncertainty and struggling with knowing how to feel. And I've heard that a lot. It's the knowing how to feel. Some people are scared of COVID. Some people are not scared of COVID, and then they feel guilty for not being scared of it. But luckily, I feel I've pulled a lot of people together to do these fireside chats for OCD Gamechangers. It was a lifesaver for me. And really, another thing was watching people, getting emails, getting messages from people and seeing they don't have community and how much that's impacting them in a world of uncertainty. It's hard enough to live with an anxiety brain that needs certainty and you can't get it. And then when the entire world feels very much like there is no grounding, that can be really scary. So before I kind of dive into that, I do want to tell you about a new initiative that I, myself and my business partner, who she treats OCD, and I have OCD. So we created a business called OCD Peers. This is a group support practice. And we decided we've got to be able to offer I just needed to offer something for people that couldn't afford therapy, didn't have access to therapy now with COVID. And this is an opportunity to connect with people. We run like 10, 12 groups a week with all different topics, being able to meet face-to-face with people across the world and see that you're not alone. Some of these people that have joined these groups have never met another person who had OCD. And so to watch kind of the magic and to get messages from people afterward of, this is exactly what I needed to kind of feel normal. It's exactly what I needed to feel like I have worth and I have value. And so I'm really excited to share this with you. And thank you so much for putting it up there. Check out our website at ocdpeers.com. Please feel free to join a group. Now, I know they're all OCD geared, but I'm going to tell you, we've got lots of different groups. And if you really just want to connect, click into the group and be there to meet people. We've got community nights too, so you can join those. And we talk about just all things recovery, all things, our journey with mental health. So really, that's one of the things that I think was born out of the kind of chaos that's happened in the last few months. It's been so helpful for me. I know it's been so helpful for my community. But I wanted to talk about your community and you and how your involvement in the community and how you fit into the community. And this is such an important topic that isn't talked about enough. I think that people, most of us with I always like I default to most of us with OCD, but I keep like having to retract and be like, no, this is not just OCD. But most of us that live with a mental illness, regardless of even how involved we are in our communities or if we have friends or family that understand it, just have this innate sense of isolation. And I think many of us have this added layer of self-esteem piece that we feel like we're just constantly rebuilding. I always like to refer to it as the damaged goods. And a lot of that is societal stigma, but it's also personal stigma. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience when I first started to get into, I have a great support network now, and I feel like I have a great community that I can call on. But I want you to know that it wasn't always like that. I felt really alone for a long time during my symptoms and then even after treatment, not knowing how to talk to people, not wanting to talk to people, not wanting anyone to know what I had been through, and feeling a lot of shame and guilt and embarrassment about what I had been through. If you don't know, OCD is a very high percentage of people with OCD have violent, sexual, scrupulous, intrusive thoughts, health intrusive thoughts. They can be really shameful and really make you feel like a monster, or just like there's something wrong with you because you can't figure things out that are just easy for other people. So I was very much buried in that shame. And I don't know where you're at right now, but if you're thinking to yourself, I really want to get involved, or I really want to meet people who maybe share the same diagnosis that I have, or that just share the same experience of living with mental illness. What wanted to just offer you a little bit of my story to tell you how I've gotten to a place where I feel really comfortable. When I first started out, I didn't know what to do. I knew that there was an OCD community out there. I just didn't know how to access it. And I'm a little bit bold in the way that I just thought, okay, well, I'll do whatever it takes because I need to find people. Like, I'm tired of dealing with this by myself. Like, I'm gonna find people and they're gonna like me. So one of the things that I did was I started an anonymous blog. That was number one. I wanted to get my story out there, but I wasn't ready for people to know who I was. So this blog I started didn't have my name on it. No one would ever know who it was, that it was my story. And I was able to start seeing some connection in the comment section. But I also, what I did was I just started following on social media. And you know this, if you Google and, advocates for X, Y, and Z, or organizations that support this mental illness, or this organization that supports mental health or anti-stigma. There's so many out there. I just started following. I started commenting a lot on boards and comments, and then I started to see that there was a trend. The same people were commenting. I really found a lot of my friends just by seeing them online and commenting, and then maybe messaging them and being like, hey, I saw that you commented that's so cool. And so I want to encourage you that it doesn't always have to be face to face. It doesn't always have to be, this planned connection with people. Sometimes you really can meet people online. And I know that Mental Health on the Mighty is a great resource too. If you resonate with somebody on the page that's saying something, start a dialogue with them. Many people in our community really are eager to meet others. They're eager to find people who understand, and those connections can really be made online. And right now it's kind of the standard of what we're dealing with. Another thing I did is sought out resources here in my community. So I went directly to, I did some research, found out that there was a NAMI chapter here. And so I went to the Colorado, I think it was called NAMI, Colorado, I can't remember. Anyway, I went to them and I just said, here I am. You don't know me, but here I am. What can I do? Like, put me to work. do something. And they didn't have many opportunities at that moment, but they said, hey, we've got X, Y, and Z coming up, or we have an event. Do you want to help out in the event? We have this. Do you want to help out in that? And I was like, yes, I will do whatever, because I just want to see and meet people and just build that sense, build a foundation, to know that I was not alone, to know that there are other people out there. And then to this day, I have connections from those original times that I did things with that chapter, which is really, really cool. Seek out organizations that are doing things in your community. For the OCD community, I just, want to mention we've got Made of Millions, who just does a ton of content on Instagram and Facebook, No CD, the free app, things like that. Riley's Wish. Then there's a lot of different advocates you can follow. Obsessively Ever After on Instagram. You can follow me at Puro Chrissie. Follow people that are in your community so you can start watching who's there, what's going on, and how you can get involved. And also, just content. I want to tell you this, like when I said before, and I put in when I promoted this as well, I'll just give a few kind of tips about starting advocacy. Like, let's say you start with a blog, anonymous blog. I want to just mention that mental health is still a hard sell. We're all here. Okay. So we get it. This is what we deal with. This is what we live with. We're like fighting, like, stop the stigma. I don't accept me. I'm not damaged goods. Like, stop. But in the outside of what we all know together and collectively about one another, which is we're badass, resilient, strong people, there's still buy-in that's needed. And a lot of that is the stigma. And so if you decide that you want to do some advocacy, or you want to do a blog, or you want to just even start speaking out and sharing blogs or sharing things, do you know what you're doing? You're telling people outwardly that you're an ally. Now, you might not get, and I think I talked about this on my last video, but you might not get the kind of following that you think you should or that you want to, but that's because people aren't necessarily going to like or share stuff when it comes to mental health because people are still afraid. But here's the beautiful thing about it. You're one less person afraid to share. And so when you share, that actually inspires someone else to go, oh my gosh, if that person does that, then maybe I can share that, or maybe the third time you share something, someone likes that, or they comment, or they come to you later and said something that you shared 6 months ago really means something to you. And you're like, why didn't you just like it? But that's okay, because this is what we're doing, and this is why we are in this together as a community, to support one another and to share things and to help each other break down that stigma. The last thing I really want to talk about is the importance of collaboration, the importance of organizations coming together, not only just within our own little niches like OCD community or the bipolar community or this, the importance of all of us coming together and being able to really highlight that mental health isn't just encompassing, it doesn't just encompass one diagnosis or the other, or one over the other, or this or that. I mean, we all know about our own stigmas within the community. Y'all know OCD is like a la carte. You go in to get diagnosed and it's like, oh, you have this, oh, and you have a little dash of OCD over here, like maybe you get a little OCD on the side, which is so frustrating for those of us. It's like, the main like debilitating, miserable illness that we have. But it's really important to even recognize kind of that stigma within our own community and really reach out and like across the mental health aisle and just support one another. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to promote him. Rudy Caceres is one of the greatest advocates. He's so good at this. He just elevates people and he knows people in every like genre of mental health and really is good about connecting others and empowering them and showing. He's a shining example of what we can do as a mental health community to really lift one another up. The diagnoses don't matter. The experience, they do matter. I certainly don't want to say that your diagnosis doesn't matter or that your experience and what you've been through doesn't matter, but as a collective whole, we are all one fighting the same battle, aren't we? We're all, digging our heels in and saying we matter and we have value. And it doesn't matter whether I have OCD or this person over here has schizophrenia or this person over here has anxiety and depression and this person ADHD and this person bipolar or whatever. It does not matter. We're one community. And when we unite together, and we really start promoting one another. This is not about money. This is not about power. This is not about any of that crap. This is about our lives. This is about saving lives, reaching as many people as we can. And that could be your anonymous blog, reaching one person and that person being able to say, oh my gosh, they get it. Me too. I don't have to feel like I'm an alien or a monster on this planet. And that's why it's so important to not ever have any outliers and have us all as a collective whole. In Mental Health on the Mighty, you do that. So thank you for bringing us all together. The articles you post, the things the awareness that you bring, the voices that you give to all of us, and allowing us to tell our story, share it, and all grow together. It's just overwhelming. So, today just wanted to again say, if you're feeling like you're not part of a community and you really want or you need to be, do the legwork. Do the legwork. Go out in your community. And right now it's a little bit difficult, but there might actually be more opportunity because of COVID. Connect with your state organizations for mental health. Connect with the organizations that are supporting whatever diagnosis you have and get involved in that. So start sharing their stuff and share your stuff with them. Definitely connect with people online, connect in the comments, try to make friends that way. I've made tons of friends that way. And then you be the voice that people need to hear. I always tell this to people, so this is great. Like, if you are looking to do something in your community, find what's missing and fill that niche. Fill the gap. That's what people need. If there's a gap in your community and you've experienced it, fill it. Because if you've experienced it, that means a lot of people have experienced, and they're going to need your voice. You are important and you matter. Community and collaboration is so important. We can't express how important that is, because there's so many people out there that need to know that they have value and they have worth. And it's up to us, you and me, Mental Health on the Mighty, all the organization I've listed before and so many others. It's up to us to make a stand and make a statement, and we really can save and change lives. So again, just wanted to emphasize, if you are interested in joining my new group, and thank you for letting me share that today, ocdpeers.com. Yay! I'm super excited. At some point, we're probably going to expand and really be able to bring in, other platforms to help other people, that may have different symptoms. But for right now, this is a good start, and we're going to be doing some really great things. If you have any questions, reach out to ocdpeers@gmail.com. And once again, Mental Health and the Mighty, thank you so much for always allowing my voice to be here. I love connecting with this community, and this is a place where I feel at home, and I really hope that you do too. You're not alone. You are valuable. You are worthy, and you matter to us. So thank you, and I will see you next month, which will be September, the start of fall. I hope I'm still in the same house. Bye, everyone.